Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Grab yourself a cup of tea and let's talk some boxing. Now Usyk has appointed Anthony Joshua becoming heavyweight world champion, moving up from the cruiserweight division, now becoming a unified champ in the heavyweight weight class. Now this fight did start cagey as we expected, and Anthony Joshua did box more perhaps than we could have imagined going in, although he did say that he was going to box and he is a boxer puncher, so he was going to stick there with Usyk, but he didn't seem to shift through the gears and go and try something else. He seemed all too comfortable doing what he was doing. I mean, I know it was tough in there and Usyk was applying the pressure and it wasn't easy, but what I mean is he seemed happy to stick there and fight Usyk's way and not change things up. It could have been different had he had a different game plan. I mean, in hindsight, you can always do something different, shoulda, woulda, coulda, but it doesn't really matter about that now. What matters is what can he take from that defeat? It's not necessarily a defeat like the first Ruiz fight, although I think there are some similarities, and the similarities lie where he was going in New York against Ruiz. He wanted to make a statement, he wanted to knock him out and prove to everyone that he can get a late replacement and someone as good as Ruiz, yet he can still make them look ordinary. And that's what he wanted to do in America on June 1st, 2019. Now, fast forward to September 25th, 2021, he was going in there with a pure boxer, and everyone was saying, AJ can't stick there and box with him. He'll get outboxed, he'll get made to look silly if he stands there and boxes with Usyk and fights the way Usyk fights. So Joshua does exactly that, so I'm wondering if he's getting caught up too much sometimes in trying to prove a point when he doesn't really need to. I mean, that could be part of it, and also it could just be the fact that he went in there with a superior boxer and he kind of ran out of ideas. I mean, at one point he did turn southpaw, and we've never seen Anthony Joshua do that. And that does kind of tell you that he was running low on ideas and it was going to be difficult from that moment onwards. Can he make the adjustments? Can he make a fight of it? Well, he didn't. Could he have done that? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if he could have made those adjustments or whether his corner weren't giving him the instructions to go and do that. I mean, there are going to be questions as to whether Rob McCracken should go again, I would imagine. I mean, people will be speaking about that. Did Rob McCracken give him the good advice? Did he give him ample training and preparation? Was he the right person to have in the corner? All those questions will once again be asked. But I mean, they did come back again after the Ruiz loss. Can they do it again against Usyk is the big question. Anthony Joshua is someone who is learning on the job. He has done from the very beginning. So there are going to be certain instances where he does perhaps have to take a loss to learn, because he is learning on the job. He has to pick things up so quickly, and we are seeing the effects of that when he fights a fighter like Ruiz who brings something different, someone like Usyk who also brings something different. We also know that AJ struggles against smaller opponents. I mean, in there with the likes of the Dominic Brazils, the Klitschkos, those kind of fighters who are taller, even Joseph Parker. Anthony Joshua seems to find a way, but someone like Usyk, someone like Andy Ruiz, AJ seems to have problems with those type of fighters. Even Dillian Whyte, a smaller, shorter fighter, they seem to be able to cause AJ problems. Now, that's not the only thing. Usyk is an incredibly gifted boxer, and we saw his skills on display. Who'd have thought he could box that way, yet still rough Anthony Joshua up in those last few rounds? Towards the end, obviously AJ was on the ropes, he looked hurt, but I don't think he was in any immediate danger of being stopped when it came to one punch being landed, and that's it. I don't think Usyk had that power to end things. I think he had enough to get AJ in trouble, but not to close the show. And I know that AJ was quite light for this one. He was similar to the Ruiz rematch. I mean, I don't think weight is the issue. I don't think he necessarily needs to try and get towards 17.5 stone. I don't think he needs to lose weight or anything like that. It's down to the game plan and what he sets out to do. He started in a certain fashion. He had a game plan. He knew what he wanted to do. He had anticipated what would happen in this contest, and the tactics were just wrong for this certain fight. It was that in abundance. It was a boxing match, and tactics, the fine margins, that comes into it. Now, had he fought Usyk the way Chisora did, things would have been different. I mean, he could have been stopped, because he could have got tired and then Usyk will go after him. So it's a different dynamic again, but that is the better thing for AJ to do, in my opinion, to go out there and make a fight of it, use his physical advantages. He still did have over 18 pounds over Usyk when it came to weight. He was, 3 inches taller, had a 4-inch reach advantage as well. He could have made that count more than he did. But having said that, Usyk is incredibly gifted. He is a fighter who will give anyone in the heavyweight division problems. I mean, he's now heavyweight champion. So Usyk is the real deal. We've seen that time and time again during his career. We did see him struggle coming up to heavyweight, especially against the likes of Chisora, but that was down to the game plan that Chisora had, and Usyk fighting Chisora's way. This time, AJ was fighting Usyk's way. All in all, while this might seem like a major setback for AJ, it is a tough fight. It's a 50-50, so we cannot be surprised if he loses, especially considering he does fight these top opponents back to back. If you do that, then the L's are going to come, but it just depends what adjustments he makes now going into the rematch, what things he works on in the meantime. They're talking about maybe a summer fight, maybe April next year. I think that maybe AJ does need to be a bit more active. He does only fight twice a year. Recently it's been once a year because of everything that has been going on. But maybe being a bit more active could be beneficial to him. I would like to see him be a bit more spiteful, like he was even in the Ruiz rematch. He was outboxing him, but he was spiteful at times. We saw a lot more of that in his early career. Maybe if that AJ is around, things will be a bit different in the rematch. I do think though that it's going to be either go for a KO or the same thing might end up happening again. I think that he needs to make it his fight and show that this is the heavyweight division. We can't just go tit for tat in a boxing match in the heavyweight division, because I think Usyk is going to come out on top every time that happens. So AJ needs to take him to a place where he feels uncomfortable, because in my opinion, I don't think Usyk was uncomfortable at all in that contest. So anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below. Also leave a like and grab that subscribe button. Thanks, guys.